This is a Code Ninja Security Advisory. We are tracking an active zero-click crisis, and it's targeting AI and machine learning infrastructure. The subject? The Marimo RCE. Let's get right into it. The vulnerability we're tracking is CVE 2026-39987. And let's be crystal clear, this is not some theoretical threat. It is being actively and widely exploited in the wild right now. Our objective with this disclosure is to force immediate patching and to give you the actionable intelligence you need to defend your networks. So here's the bottom line, and I need you to hear this loud and clear. If you have an unpatched Marimo instance that's exposed to the network, you absolutely must assume it's compromised. The window for prevention has slammed shut. We are now in a state of incident response. To put a number on it, this vulnerability has a CVSS 3.1 score of 9.8. Critical. For those of you who know, that's about as bad as it gets. It's reserved for flaws that are trivial to exploit and result in a complete and total system compromise. The affected software here is Marimo. It's a reactive Python notebook framework really popular in data science and ML circles. Any version before 0.230 is vulnerable. And the flaw itself? It's a pre-authentication remote code execution. That means an attacker needs zero credentials, they don't need you to click a link, all it takes is a single request to get complete control of your system. Now take a look at this timeline. The gap between an advisory and an active exploit has basically collapsed. We saw the first in-the-wild exploitation just 9 hours and 41 minutes after it was publicly disclosed. Think about that. Threat actors are weaponizing these things at machine speed. 4 days later, they're already deploying sophisticated malware. And by the 23rd, it was so widespread that CISA had to add it to their known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. The velocity is just brutal. Which brings us to our mission right now. It's twofold. First, get you patched immediately. Second, arm your security teams with the intel they need to start hunting for this threat on your network today. Okay, before we dive into the deep technical details, we're going to pause for a quick protocol note. We need to establish a secure comms channel to make sure you stay ahead of future threats like this one. It's a simple 3-step process. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. This is non-negotiable for getting real-time threat intelligence the moment it drops. Step 2, acknowledge that you've received this advisory with a like. This lets us know the message is getting through. And step 3, in the comments, report your patch status. Just type patched or vulnerable. This helps the entire community gauge the blast radius of this thing. Go ahead and do that now. All right, comms secured, let's get into the protocol. First up, analyzing the blast radius. So what's the root cause? It's a catastrophic but devastatingly simple coding flaw. The main WebSocket endpoint /WS does the right thing. It calls a function to validate authentication. But the terminal endpoint /terminal/WS completely skips that check. It's like having a vault door on the front of the building, but leaving the back door wide open. This one little oversight is the whole ballgame. And here's what the attackers do with that open door. It's a playbook of pure efficiency. They get a full shell with just one request. In less time than it takes to brew a cup of coffee, under 3 minutes, they're already harvesting your environment files, your AWS keys, your SSH keys. Then they immediately pivot, using those stolen credentials to get into your internal databases like PostgreSQL and Redis. It is a textbook smash and grab, executed at lightning speed. But it doesn't stop there. The campaign escalates to deploying malware. We're seeing a new variant of NK abuse, which is a Go-based botnet that uses the NKN blockchain for its command and control. And the delivery is clever. They're using a typo-squatted HuggingFace space to get past domain reputation filters. The malware disguises itself as SQLagent, a legit Kubernetes tool, and it digs in deep for persistence using systemd, crontab, you name it. Okay, now for the most important part of this entire briefing, the patch. This is your remediation protocol. Listen closely. These right here are your critical indicators of compromise. Get your threat hunting teams on these immediately. On the network side, block all traffic to that VS Code Modex HuggingFace space. That's their malware host. On your systems, you're hunting for this specific SHA-256 hash. The malware buries itself in a hidden .kagent directory and uses a kagent.service systemd file to survive a reboot. These are your top priorities for forensics. So here is your 4-step remediation protocol. These are not suggestions, they are mandatory. 1. Patch. Now. Upgrade to Marimo version 0.230 or later. 2. Restrict access. There is no reason to have Marimo in edit mode exposed to the public internet. Lock it down. 3. hunt for the IOCs we just went over. And 4, rotate all credentials. Assume every key, every token, every password that was accessible to that Marimo process has been stolen. Rotate everything. Finally, let's talk about the why we operate this way, and why that assume compromise mindset is so critical. Look, we practice coordinated disclosure for one very simple reason. The time between a vulnerability being announced and it being actively exploited is now measured in hours, not weeks or months. Public disclosure is the only tool we have to arm defenders and force action fast enough to counter these immediate active threats. So I'm going to leave you with this question to take back to your teams. We've just seen how a single, forgotten development tool can lead to a catastrophic breach. Your AI and ML infrastructure is one of the highest value targets on your network. Have you truly audited your perimeter for other forgotten tools, just like this one? This concludes the advisory. Stay secure.